The last step in the process that we're going to be talking about now is adding the process of reconstructing arguments is adding intermediate conclusions. And to show you what we're talking about, let's consider an example. We have our student hardly works, is thinking about the consequences of the fact that she isn't doing the work for her course. And when she's thinking about it, she reasons, I didn't study for the test. If I didn't study for the test, I won't pass. If I don't pass, then I won't pass the course. If I don't pass the course, I won't graduate on time. Therefore, I won't graduate on time. So she's thinking that maybe her not doing the work is going to have some serious consequences for her. But let's look at what her argument is. We're going to reconstruct it, right? She says, I didn't study for the test. Explicit premise. If I didn't study for the test, then I won't pass the test. Explicit premise. If I won't pass the test, then I won't pass the course. Another explicit premise. If I won't pass the course, I won't graduate on time. Therefore, I won't graduate on time. Pretty straightforward argument and good reconstruction. Not clear that we need any intermediate, any implicit premises, that there are any missing premises. But to understand the structure of the argument, let's even just look at premise 1 and premise 2. If we look at it, premise 1 and premise 2 combine to establish the point that I won't pass the test, right? So what we have here, even though it's not stated, is kind of before step 3 in this argument. We have an intermediate conclusion. So what we're going to want to do in arguments is to make everything explicit is actually put in the intermediate conclusions so we can see that the logic is good, that they're valid or cogent inferences, and then we're just going to go and evaluate the premises. So now adding it in, it'll be if I didn't study for the test, I didn't study for the test. 2, if I didn't study for the test, then I won't pass the test. 3, therefore I won't pass the test, follows from 1 and 2. If I won't pass the test, then I won't pass the course. Well, 3 and 4 combine to get you 5, I won't pass the course. If I won't pass the course, I won't graduate. 6 now, explicit premise. 5 and 6. And modus ponens, we've been using modus ponens, direct reasoning with conditionals as our inference. Notice how much mileage that one particular inference gives us. We get to the conclusion, I won't graduate on time. So notice we've now added the intermediate conclusion. And now let's turn to see why it's helpful to put those intermediate conclusions in there. But before we turn to there, think about it. When we are going to evaluate the argument now, we're going to evaluate the logic, and the logic is sitting now out here in front of us. We have these intermediate conclusions, number 3 and number 5. Number 7. Now remember, when we're criticizing, when we're evaluating an argument and we're trying to figure out if it's good, first we worry about the logic. And then if we want to look at something, we're going to be looking at the premises. So notice we don't have to worry about 3 because it is not a premise. It's an intermediate conclusion. We're not going to worry about 5 because it's an intermediate conclusion. So as long as the only thing we're going to look at 3 and 5 about is to make sure that it follows from the premises that the argument is claiming, or the reconstruction is claiming that it follows from.